Hello, I'm Eileen McHugh with the BBC News. The US congressional investigation into the storming of the US Capitol in January last year is entering a new phase. It's holding a public hearing, which is being broadcast live on primetime television. Two witnesses, a police officer and a filmmaker, will give evidence, and committee members will also consider videotape testimony from officials who served in the Trump administration. Nomia Iqbal is in Washington.
There'll be an opening statement from the chair and the vice chair, and then we're going to get a very highly produced multimedia presentation, about 15 minutes long, showing that on-scene footage, showing recorded testimony from those that were close to the then President Donald Trump, his key aides, members of his family, and other people that were involved on that day and how they were affected. Most of the US TV networks are taking it at prime time. So that gives you a real sense of just how big this will be playing out, certainly when it comes to the American media here.
An assailant opened fire at a manufacturing facility in northern Maryland on Thursday, killing at least 3 people and wounding a 4th before being taken into custody after a shootout with the police. The Washington County Sheriff's Office said the suspect was shot and injured during confrontation with a Maryland State Police trooper who also suffered minor injuries. The Governor of Maryland, Larry Hogan, spoke at a news conference.
My understanding is that potentially 3 people killed. The state police responded, pursued the suspect. Suspect fired and shot state trooper in the shoulder, who then returned fire and shot him back.
The shooter and the policeman were taken to a local hospital for treatment. Britain and Ukraine have sharply condemned death sentences handed down by a Russian proxy court in Donetsk to 2 British men and a Moroccan, Aden Aslan, Sean Pinner and Brahim Sadoun, who were captured while fighting for Ukraine, were found guilty of mercenary activities. The British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss said on Twitter that it was a sham judgment. James Landale reports.
The Foreign Secretary said she utterly condemned the sentencing of the 2 Britons. They were both prisoners of war, she said, and as such this was a sham judgment that had absolutely no legitimacy. Downing Street was equally firm. A spokesman said they were deeply concerned. Prisoners of war, he said, should not be exploited for political purposes. He said that under the Geneva Conventions, prisoners of war were entitled to combatant immunity and should not be prosecuted for participating in hostilities.
The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says his forces have made some gains in fighting in the southeastern Zaporizhzhia region and further north around the country's second city, Kharkiv. But Ukrainian troops have again come under sustained attack in Severodonetsk. World News from the BBC. President Biden has told reporters he's not concerned about the leaders of some countries not attending the Summit of the Americas in Los Angeles, and that progress was being made by those who are present. The presidents of Mexico, Bolivia and several other countries have chosen to stay away. An investigation by BBC News and legal experts at the University of Portsmouth has found that ivory continues to be sold on the online marketplace eBay, despite it banning such sales more than a decade ago. An analysis by ivory trade experts indicated that thousands of objects made of elephant tusk had been sold on the site simply by listing them as bovine bone. Victoria Gill reports on the findings by Dr. Caroline Cox.
In an investigation that started in 2018, Dr. Cox and her colleagues tracked and analysed eBay listings of bovine bone for 3 months. Of 600 items they tracked to the completion of a sale, she said that more than 500 were made of ivory. To investigate further, we bought 3 items on eBay that were listed as bovine bone. 2 of them we confirmed in laboratory tests, a bracelet and a statue, were in fact elephant ivory. eBay imposed its own ban on the sale of ivory in 2009. The company said it's been proactive in tackling the illicit trade since then.
The US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said that Iran's decision to remove 27 surveillance cameras from its nuclear sites will undermine efforts to revive the 2015 nuclear deal. Separately, Britain, France and Germany urged Tehran not to raise the stakes further. 2 men have been rescued from a vat of chocolate at one of the sweetmaker Mars Wrigley's factories in the American state of Pennsylvania. It's not known how the pair fell into the tank, but they were stuck there waist deep in chocolate until emergency workers freed them. BBC News.